Right, welcome back. Last time, we actually managed to pass enough reforms in order to get commercial law, or commerce law, and extensive charters. So, basically have the reforms at the level that I wanted to for the burghers. Specifically because that's enough to get commercialization to start spreading. Bad news. Apparently, peasant subsistence is so high in this trade node that it's not enough for it to even start to spread. And down here, where there's a lot of trade power, the burghers are particularly weak. I also decided to go ahead and try invading Diviet in the hopes of taking them down while they're weak, which they were, but they recovered somewhat lately, so... Oh well, even if things go particularly poorly, I can probably fight them to a standstill. Wait, that was Thai beforehand. Did she manage to convert to Vietnamese that quickly? Jeez. There, starting to siege down the capital usually is really good for lowering war enthusiasm. Excellent. I've hit significant levels of death. Yeah. Switching some song time, but I guess got culturally converted. Great. Wonder how long it will take for the canoe poachers to disappear. From the looks of it, a while. About a fifth of the necessary time has progressed, and... Well, since games have started, it's almost been 150 years. There's only 500 years in the game. Presumably, greater amounts of centralization will speed that up, but... Yeah. Well, you're not getting anything, Malaka. Not a cent. Province. Not that I have anything to say about it. Right, okay, tech. Definitely grabbing mill and definitely hospital twice. I'm about 200 points from the limit for Diplo. And my next idea group's going to be a military idea. I really should be focusing on mill points, shouldn't I? So much like a probably complete an entire military idea group right now. I am going to be conquering, so I'm further behind on. In fact, I am bit like that. So enough of that. Early tercios. Pioneered in the Iberian Peninsula, in a tercio, groups of pikemen would form a wall around musketeers, protecting the musketeers from hand-to-hand combat while the musketeers shot at more distant enemies. The combination was so effective that it would dominate the battlefields of Europe for generations. Lamoral plus 0.08, cavalry shock plus 0.3, enables new infantry. Arquebuses. Okay. Heavy ship guns. Although cannons had been used on ships as early as the 100 Years' War, they saw limited use due to their heavy size. Prince John II of Portugal had his ships outfitted with a reinforced gun deck that could hold the heavy guns, allowing him to bring more guns with him on board ship. They steal maps and Lamoral plus 0.25. Bombardeiros. Beginning in 1489 with Prince John of Portugal, navies began to place specialized teams of gunners on board each warship. These bombardeiros were trained to work as a team in order to load and fire faster and more accurately. Land morale plus naval morale plus 0.25, naval engagement plus 15 does not give me any new ships. Yeah, okay. Heavy ships might be something I have to wait on. Humanism. Scholars studying the classics were forced to admit that they were often brilliant and applicable to the modern world, despite having been written by men who worshipped strange gods or spoke different languages. They began to judge them not as heretics, but on the merits of their own writing. This humanist worldview allowed them to discuss topics that would normally be banned in polite company. Better stability. I think I can grab one more Diplo and build an admin tech. Block books. Despite the spread of movable type, there was still a large market for wood-carved block books. This was because block books could contain illustrations, similar to earlier hand-copied manuscripts. It not only meant they could be works of art in their own right, it also encouraged the dissemination among the majority of the population who were literate. Another idea group unlocked. Dry docks. A dry dock is a narrow basin that can be flooded to allow a ship to sail inside, then drained to allow workers to repair or refit the ship. First used by the English at Portsmouth in 1495, their obvious advantages led to many nations building their own. Naval force limit plus 5%. Right, just go quality. It's reliable. I go it every time, so I'm just not even going to read the description. Military academies. Land attrition minus 5%, discipline plus 2.5%. Strong backbone. Infantry and cavalry combat ability plus 7.5%. One more, and I should save the rest for tech or reforms. Path to victory. Morale of armies plus 7.5%. Do you want to check internal structure? Federalism, state tax farming. Okay. Okay. So for the various admin reforms. Yep, 30 bureaucratic influence. I definitely have enough state reach for most of those things. Stuff I could cost stability if I try that stuff though. Overlook tenant abuse. There we go. Yield concessions to ancient liberties. Dang it, it's 29. Span of bureaucracy. And expand our authority to further boost everything. Might reduce tributes. Permit the old ways. And arrange a strategic marriage. I don't need to do anything with you. You're maxed out loyalty anyway. Perform show of devotion. Probably won't need to do anything with the clergy until the next time I do some sort of admin reform. We could do one more military idea group. Fighting spirit. If you believe you can win, that you must win, then winning becomes that much more likely. Morale damage taken by reserves. Reduce morale damage taken by reserves plus 10%. Yes! Just what I needed. No, that's not it. No, it's this button over here. They all look the same. Instituting a clear hierarchy is cheaper in almost every way except points, so obviously. Ooh, restrict factional appointment of officials. This should make it much easier to get bureaucratic influence high. Ban the sale of offices. Provincial corruption is basically maxed out, so... Force reasonable tenure duration. And I'm out of mill points. I mean, if I wait a month or two, it should be fine. There we go. Probably should do all these reforms at once. I mean, look at me. I've already maxed out corruption, provincially. And I have zero stability to lose. The only issue is that relations with the factions and the various elites and all that are going to be awful. There we go. I can't do anything more. Oh, I could just upgrade to an empire. Yep. That'll give me some extra prestige. Bulletproof armor. As guns become more common on the battlefield, knights demanded thicker armor that was proof against bullets. Armorers would fire a pistol into a breastplate, leaving behind a dent that showed buyers the armor was safe to wear. Infantry fire plus 0.1, artillery fire plus 0.3. Probably could have grabbed an idea. Well, Again, there wasn't exactly time for any reforms. Goldsmith moneylenders. In an era when money took the form of gold and silver coins, a goldsmith held a special place. Able to melt down gold and keep it safe in a strong boxes, goldsmiths could be relied upon to exchange foreign coins for local ones when a merchant or pilgrim came through an area. God. Over time, goldsmiths began offering to keep money in their safes for people who feared bandits, and even to lend it out to those who they considered good risks. Trade range plus 60, trade efficiency plus 50%, enables the Shakwan junk. Viewed criticism. As scholars began to read texts written by heretics and heathens, they began to question the church. But when laws were religious, it was against the law to question faith. The solution was to question and criticize indirectly, such as by imagining a fantastic land and made-up characters. Readers could read between the lines easily enough, leading to discussions about reforming the church. Stability cost and rule minus 1%. Ooh, may study tech. Yeah, I'll take cross staffs as well. Sailors who journeyed far from land needed to calculate distances. Navigators found the use of a cross staff, or Jacob's staff, invaluable in helping them determine the angle between the horizon and the sun. Global naval engagement with plus 5%, may study tech, trade range plus 60. Right. Internal stuff. I need to find ways to reduce the power of the nobles. Probably through removal of privileges. Yes. Let's restrict landlord sovereignty. This will make land tax way more effective. Oh, I could have in theory done this. It's just too much influence, so I'm not going to touch it right now. Strict landlord sovereignty and tenant abuse. Yield concessions to ancient liberties. Old grand celebrations. That should get them to be more loyal. Promote support commerce. Ownership of devotion. Continue expanding the bureaucracy. Use tributes. Expand our authority. Commit the old ways, and also arrange a strategic marriage. There we go. Yeah, that should be good for now. Just got invaded again. Ava almost certainly by Bengal, unless decided once again to say no to China. Oh. They have no friends. No one's defending them. Why do you need my assistance? Anyway, I was going to do something else, but... Right. Let's see here. Right. Gotta wait a month. $25 dev, no claim. Is that actually worth it? Let's think on that. Actually, though I think it would be better to work on other things first. Okay, so we've got a lot of... it's been at least 20 years, so that looks like it's the base quantity of influence with the bureaucrats, which is excellent. It means a plus 20 should be enough to hit 30 easily. Which means it's finally time to do some reforms. I can do two at once. Oh, wait. I'm not sure if it will take enough from the aristocrats. It might. It's entirely possible that it won't. Okay, so I'm going to need 300 left over. It's not going to be enough if I grab that idea as well, so just straight barrel rifling. Inventor in Augsburg, barrel rifling spun bullets into the barrel to launch them more accurately. It also made these rifles slow to reload, but they quickly became popular among hunters. Some of them later became sharpshooters during wartime. Land morale plus 0.09, combat width plus 1, infantry shock plus 0.15, artillery shock plus 0.04, enables, well, artillery for other people. New artillery types. Circumnavigation of the globe. As ships grew bigger and navigation grew more accurate, navigators and adventurers began to dream of mapping the whole Earth. Any sailor can tell you that the world is round. The question is, can you sail around the globe? Ship durability plus 2%, trade range plus 60, enables pathing rank 4. Although the whole enables pathing rank 4 is kind of questionable for whether or not it actually does stuff like that, but not important. Police brotherhoods. In order to enforce laws throughout the land, many states established holy brotherhoods of officers that had jurisdiction across the entire country, organized from one central location. They would eventually grow into a national police force that would take a very long time. And that's only true for certain areas. In others, well... that's a story for another time. Centralization of power. Throughout this period, powerful rulers were able to reverse the course of feudalism by centralizing power under themselves. With higher populations came increased tax income for rulers, and with gunpowder came high costs of warfare. That meant many feudal nobles preferred to pay scutage rather than fight. The result were professional armies and bureaucrats loyal to the central government, while the landed aristocracy increasingly lost their privileges to the state. The unifications of nations, such as France and Spain, only sped up this process. Yearly centralization plus 0.01 enables forced march. Okay, so promote the bureaucratic faction. Excellent. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to upgrade my military service. Instead, I'll just make do with reducing the noble gravity through reforms to military organization. This will reduce my manpower, but yeah, it will be helpful. Extremely cheap, honestly. If I just do this on its own. If I do this as well, well, this will further reduce noble investment into feudal levies and give me even less manpower. But it will also reduce their gravity and make it easier for me to influence them. Of course, there is the other option of directly attacking. No, I can't. Never mind. I could have directly attacked their influence, but you can only do one influence adjusting action every 5 years. Then they all go on cooldown, so... It's too strong for that reform. Can't touch any of those. Hey, wait a second, I can reform the tax system. I don't think anyone would complain that much about this. It's going to cost a little more legitimacy and stability. And the negative effects will last a bit longer, but... Right. Extended levies and state tax fall. Now I just need a weaken aristocrat influence. Yeah, this one requires a weakness in their influence rather than a strength in my own. Liberties. They're in abuse and they're already back to what they previously were. I guess I can grant special commissions to loyalists. I don't like doing that because it reduces military effectiveness for a period, but continue expanding the bureaucracy. I'll get around 50%. At that point, I'm going to need to start working towards getting, well, meritocracy. Tributes. I don't get much money from them anyway. Nor do I really need the money. I've been investing into infrastructure wherever I can, but I can only look for so long. The old ways. Expand our authority. Arrange a strategic marriage. Perform a show of devotion. Promote and support commerce. There we go. That should be good for now. Did I just get a fourth merchant? Well, that's quite nice. Although I do believe this is a good point to end the... Well, yes, once I've plopped you down over to here. Alright. So, cleaned up Champa. They're gone now. Though there was a short period where Great Sia held 3 provinces, but they decided to just release the provinces back to them and turn them into a tributary. What's different is that, well, I did win against Iviet and grabbed 2 provinces, although sadly this province converted to kin culture. Oh well. However, they're now a vassal. Yep, they've been vassalized by Great Sia. I'll just grab tech. Snaplock muskets. Muskets continue to improve, becoming safer, more accurate, faster to reload, and cheaper to purchase. All this meant that increasingly, infantrymen carried a firearm, giving them opportunities to implement tactics designed around the gun. Infantry fire plus 0.15 enables yet another infantry type. Oh, jeez, there's 5 different options. At this point, infantry fire seems to be reliably higher, so I should pick the one with the most fire preps. 100 Sun Infantry. Okay. Galleons. Larger ships were slower and unsteady, making them less effective in battle. The galleon was a large ship, but it lowered the forecastle and elongated the hull, making it far more stable. This allowed them to be relatively maneuverable even as they grew to be thousands of tons. When a ship carried over 100 cannons, few cared how quickly it moved. Trade range plus 30, naval force plus 5%. Yeah, why not? Let's finish it off. Well. Yeah. The Navy Board. As navies grew, so did their complexity. Rulers began to establish Navy Boards to arrange for repairs, supplies, and building of ships in the Royal Navy. Siege blockade progress plus 1, ship durability plus 2%, naval morale plus 0.2, naval engagement plus 10. Civil law. Medieval laws were often a patchwork of traditional customs, judicial precedents, and the laws of the many groups that made up the nation. Because of course, different classes had different laws that usually favored the upper classes. A renewed interest in the ancient world gave rulers the ideas to officially codify their laws into a simple set of civil laws, one that emphasized the authority of the ruler and so increases power. Yearly corruption plus 0.02 enables a new idea group, which will be an admin idea group, but I don't think I should pick that now. Oh, Vassal Integration Act is available. I mean, I've got no diplomatic policies available, and I'm not sure if I can even get any. Okay, there is proselyte mission, and no, the highways doesn't count. Nope. Global trade. Yeah. Or global, whatever that means. No? Okay. Oh, I think I get it. It's global domain. Anyway. Okay, so I have done some reforms. I've boosted levies and done state tax farming. Plus a lot of minor reforms. I did a whole bunch all at once because I was out of stability and had tons of corruption. And had plenty of points to burn. So... And it helped that a lot of those didn't actually cost loyalty directly. Indirectly, maybe, but not directly. I do want to check something. Oh, dang it. I was hoping to bring them to at or below 40 influence. Because I need to work a little bit harder on that stuff. Oh well, I can continue improving the tax efficiency. This. Okay, yeah, standardize the recruitment of officials. not the cheapest thing, but it should help. Right? Okay. So... what should I attack? Their influence? Or their... let's actually attack their influence. Codify the titles of the court. This should reduce their influence. Doesn't do so automatically, but it will do so with time. And I believe also improves prestige for me. Okay. Yield concessions to ancient liberties. No, I'm too low on that. I can't hold grand salvation. That's costly. Oh, that's costly. Expand the bureaucracy. Permit the old ways. Yeah, okay. Expand our authority again. Reduce tributes. Arrange a strategic marriage. Promote and support commerce. And perform a show of devotion. Upgrade to tax officials. Doesn't really change much, although it is a bit costly in stability. Right, it boosts the based indirect tax efficiency, enables a couple of new tax types, and reduces the mana cost of all state indirect taxes. Well, presumably boosts the indirect tax efficiency. This is true, assuming that you have, well, about 40% state reach average. Well, in the locations that you're taxing. Yeah, that's a good point to stop. Honestly, I've pretty much just conquered the rest of Champa and a bit off of David after, well, we've had the initial war. I've submitted to being a tributary state to Great Xia because I can only put it off for so long before they start to, well, invade. I'm just glad they haven't done it to Ava yet. So I'm fairly certain Ava would eventually give it up. I've also increased my international importance to significant, which gave me a cultural union over the, well, my culture group of Siamese. I've accepted Cham culture. It's going to take a while to convert them though. Take a long while. Cham culture isn't particularly large. Commercialization is beginning to spread, although mainly only in Sidek. And it's slow. It's going to take another 26 years before it arrives in the province, and then it has to probably spread to other provinces because autonomy is 100%. It's not going to matter. At least not directly to the embracement, because it has to be its autonomy, its development after local autonomy. Because it has 100% autonomy, it has zero impact on embracement progress. However, once it arrives, it will spread more quickly to other provinces because of trade. And other reasons, but yeah. It also helps that slowly, within my home node, I am reducing the amount of subsistence economy. Things are becoming, well, actual trade is beginning to increase. I've also started a navy. This is my naval force limit. It is 5. Yeah, I don't exactly have a lot to work with. Oh well. At least my manpower is starting to increase, so my force limit is actually 12, though I have not actually done anything about it yet. My income is absurdly high. I've been spending that on building up urban infrastructure in my cities. So I'm going to have to look more and more into getting autonomy down. It is bad. I'm trying to improve upon it, but it is extremely hard to do so. I need to start weakening the amount of autonomy the nobles generate. It's probably the best way to go, especially since after a while, things just fall apart. Other options include building up capital infrastructure and harbor infrastructure to take advantage of river sea, which is one of the big things about M&T 3.0. Rivers are actually accounted for in calculating communication efficiency. Which is why Angkor isn't completely bad for that sort of a thing. Oh, and Angkor now is the largest city on the continent. Thanks to, well, buffs. It's a good city, and I think Dynam's capital got maybe a bit plundered after the invasion from China, so yeah, it's good to have a nice city like this. So I'm gonna have to look to, oh wow, okay, so the preferred quantity is actually 200,000. Although I'm not sure how much of that is from projects, but I don't see any. And it's been long enough that I figure it's already been completed for a while, so... Wow, that's high, okay. At least the urban housing can accommodate most of that. Oh well. Oh, wow, okay, so you also have that. Well, it's probably best to take advantage of it. It's weird because there's so much demand for all kinds of labor except for urban. Oh, growth rates are high, which is excellent. So an improving population means I can do more stuff. Let's build up the capital infrastructure. If I remember correctly, it is surprisingly cheap to do so. Upgrading rank 1 from rank 2. It's rank 3 that is really expensive. I guess I could do another reform. Average autonomy or lower. That's what I need. Instituting civil examinations requires meritocracy. 50 state reach. And I need an important center of learning somewhere. Could also reform bureaucratic hierarchies. That's 80 state. No. That's not possible anytime soon. Yeah. I'm probably going to end up hovering around 50 state reach. Though I may end up actually starting invention progress in meritocracy, since it is very slow to leave China. Meritocracy is very slow to leave China. Usually takes a fairly long time. Is that a massive Kirin? Yes, possibly. Or perhaps not. And yes, Yemen is split. Okay, I think I've gone on long enough. I'll see you again next time. Until then.